Hello everyone, welcome to the second PUC economics class. I am Suma, economics lecturer, Gopalswamy PU College, Mysore. In today's session, let us see about the monetary system in India under the third lesson of macroeconomics, that is money and banking. So, what are all the ways in which money is being transacted in our country? So, that is going to be learnt today. So, before we move towards that, let us see about the types of money. The types are three. The first one is fiat money. The second one is fiduciary money, and the third one is high powered money. The three types of money are fiat money, fiduciary money and high powered money. The first one is fiat money. Fiat money is nothing but the legal tender of that particular country. Here the economy which has recognized such currency which is recognized and approved by the government of that country. For example, rupee is the official currency of our country and that has been recognized and approved by government of India. So, the legal tender of Indian currency is rupee and that is called as fiat money. So, suddenly when you see in your pocket the official currency of our country only is seen, that is the legal tender also. If you have yen, dirham, ruble, all these with you, and if you go to transact with them in India, they are not considered as an exchange of value here because they are not the legal tenders of this country. So, the legal tender of that particular country is called as fiat money. The second one is fiduciary money, that is the transaction of money based on trust and reliability. That type of money is called as fiduciary money. With this, the reliability and trust is also joined. For example, if a person gives a check to another person for future date, the transaction exists today, but the payment will be received by that other person on another day. So, here the transaction is happening because of the trust and reliability of another person or between two persons. So, this is called as fiduciary money. There are checks, bills of exchanges, promissory notes, all these are the examples for fiduciary money. The third type is high powered money. So, this is very important and it can be asked for 1 marks in the examination. So, high powered money is nothing but the cash reserve ratio kept with RBI from the commercial banks, because RBI does not collect deposits directly from the public, it collects the cash reserve ratio from commercial banks, and that particular reserve amount kept in RBI is called as high powered money. So, these three types of money are existing in this economy. So, now let us move towards the topic, that is monetary system in India. So, the monetary system in India follows minimum reserve system of 2000 crore worth of foreign exchange and gold. The monetary system in India follows the minimum reserve system of rupees 2000 crore worth of foreign exchange or gold in the RBI. So, this is known as the pattern of monetary system in India. Until the Reserve Bank of India gets the foreign exchange and gold worth of rupees 2000 crore, it will not print the fresh currencies. With this condition only, RBI prints the extra currencies which is required for the operation in the public or which is required for the transaction. Let us see about the types of banks in India. There are many types of banks. Particularly for this year's lesson, you have to learn about the two important types of banks, and they are commercial bank and reserve bank or the central bank of India. So, let us see about the commercial bank. Commercial bank, by name itself you can understand that it is a bank which is meant for trade and commerce activities. For example, there are many people who are earning daily wages, beggars are there, age old persons are there, and many laborers are there, and all these people earn money, and out of their earnings they want to keep some money as savings. So that extra money that they want to keep as savings are kept in the commercial banks. For that, the commercial bank in return gives them some amount of interest. So all these money, extra money that is within the hands of public are kept in these commercial banks, and the commercial banks deposit them in the RBI in the form of cash reserve ratio, and even they lend loans out of the money collected in the form of deposits. And for both, for collecting money it gives interest, and for lending money also it gets interest. So now let us see how a commercial bank earns money. This is, for example, I am saying the commercial banks earns money by giving 4% interest on the deposits that it collects from the public, wherein it charges 14% for loans. So here what happens, the difference between the interest given by a commercial bank and the interest charged by a commercial bank for lending loans is 10%. So this 10% is called as spread. So this spread is the income for a commercial bank, and out of this spread money only, commercial bank maintains its expenditures like maintenance of the staff, salaries, expenditures, and after that also it is left over with lots and lots of money with it. So all these extra money is invested on different projects. All these extra money that a commercial bank has is again lent to heavy industries, and according to the direction of the central government, the extra money that a commercial bank has is deposited or invested. So this commercial bank earns money because it has to give money, because the first and foremost duty of a commercial bank is to give loans to the needy and accept the deposits from the needy, because it is difficult to keep the money at home or in any place because there is no security and safety. For that purpose, each and every public wishes to keep the money in a safer place, and commercial bank takes the responsibility of maintaining the safety and security for the money of the public. There are other financial institutions also in our country which are officially recognized and which are being operating since many years, LIC and post offices, but they are all not called as commercial banks. Let us see why they are not called as commercial banks. LIC is one which transacts with the public money, but gives loans to the public but does not collect the deposits from the public. So therefore it is not a commercial bank. Wherein post office bank collects deposits but it does not give loans for regular purposes, and this is also therefore not a commercial bank. But these two are the major financial institutions which are earning revenues, and these revenues earned by the post office and LIC are again being deposited or invested according to the directions of central government in any of the developmental projects. So now let us see about the commercial bank's functions. So what are the functions of commercial bank? The first one is primary function, second one is secondary function, and the third function is credit creation. So now let us see about one by one. The first and foremost function is primary function. Here there are two primary functions for which the commercial bank has been established. The first one is to accept the deposits and the second one is to lend the loans. This is the way how a commercial bank transacts and earns money. The first and foremost function of a commercial bank is to accept the deposits. So the deposits are accepted in four forms: The first one is savings account, second one is current account, the third one is in the form of fixed deposits, and the fourth one is in the form of recurring deposits. So let's see one by one. The savings bank account. Here each and every individual person opens a savings bank account in any of the commercial bank and keeps the extra earnings. So here the money collected by the savings account is again lent to the public only in the form of loans. Again, as I said, for savings bank account the bank gives a lesser amount of interest, and for lending loans the bank charges a higher amount of interest. The second one is current account. The current account is opened by the businessman because each and every day they have cash transactions with the bank business purposes. So they open the current account, and for this the bank says them to maintain a minimum balance in their account. The third one is fixed deposit. These fixed deposits are the amount kept by the public in a commercial bank for certain period. These fixed deposits may be of two types. They are time deposits and the demand deposits. The public may keep some money in the bank and they may go and ask the bank to return on demand after certain time. This is called as demand deposit, where in the case of time deposits, the deposits are kept in the bank and these deposits are withdrawn only after the accomplishment of a certain period for which they have been kept. So these two types of deposits are also accepted by commercial banks. The fourth one is recurring deposit, that is commonly called as RD account. The public wishes to save small amount of money every month, and this is a recurring savings, mean repeated savings, and they wish to save money for every month and for a certain period, and maybe usually for 1 year, 3 years, etc. So after the completion of this period, maybe it is for 12 months or 24 months or 36 months, and after that the public can withdraw the recurring deposits and they can collect the money along with some amount of interest that is given by the bank. So these are all the 4 types of deposits accepted by the bank. You all learned that the primary function of a commercial bank is to accept the deposits, and these deposits are accepted in these 4 forms, and the other functions that are included in the primary function are to grant loans, granting of loans to the public. The loans are granted to the public in 3 ways. The first one is cash credit, the second one is demand loan, and the third one is term loan. So now let us see one by one what is meant by cash credit. Cash credit is a facility given to the business people because they want to have the cash transaction done in the bank on a regular basis, because daily they are getting the payments in the form of checks, and before the checks gets clear they want the money at the earliest, or for a payment which should be made immediately they want a loan for a shorter period for which they are getting the return for them in the next 1 or 2-3 days, and they will return this loan. So for this the commercial bank asks them to maintain a cash credit account. Here the minimum balance is maintained in every account by the owner of that account. Here the businessman has to buy raw materials or he has to make some payments regularly, and for this a cash credit is given to him from the bank. For example, if 10 lakhs is given to him as against his regular transaction and based on his turnover, that money is fixed. So in that 10 lakhs that person may avail only 5 lakhs on a day, and for that 5 lakhs what he has availed for that particular day is charged with interest until he returns the money. So for that the cash credit facility is mainly important for business persons. The second one is demand loan. Here this type of loan is availed by the stockbrokers and those who are into business activities and regular trading activities. Here they get the demand loan against their business transaction for certain amount, but here the bank has every right to demand back that loan on any time. It is not allowing the demand loan amount to with the person who has taken loan for a longer period. So this is called as demand loan, and for this also bank charges interest. And the third one is the term loan. These term loans are of two types, short term loan and long term loan. Term loan, as the name itself says, it is for a term, for a period. If you have to buy a vehicle, you will go for a term loan, or for house construction will go for the housing loan. So all these are long term loans. So if that person wants money for a simple purpose, then he gets the loan for a shorter period, and after the completion of that period he returns that loan. But these housing loans, vehicle loans, and all these are for a longer period, and these are all called as the long term loans. So gold loan may be taken as for a short term loan, and the housing loan is considered as a long term loan. So after this, let us see about the secondary functions. The secondary functions of a commercial bank are to issue the overdraft, to discount the bills of exchange, perform the agency functions. Overdraft facility is one which is given by the commercial bank to the public to draw an extra amount which is excess from the balance that is maintaining in his particular account. This is given to him on the basis of the trust and reliability, because bank wants again to help the needy as its primary duty. So therefore every bank gives overdraft to the persons who are in regular touch with the bank, and these overdraft that is drawn by that account holder will be charged again with interest. The second one is discounting of bills of exchange. For example, a person goes to another person for business activities, and and he supplies goods to that person, and for that the other party gives him the bills of exchange. Because he is not having money readily with him, he issues a bills of exchange that is payable after next 3 months. So this person who got the bills of exchange, he will go to the bank and he discounts it with the bank. Bank purchases that bill of exchange, and for that it charges some amount, and then reduction of that amount bank gives money to the bills of exchange to this person who has brought the bills of exchange. The third one is agency function. Bank also acts as an agent on behalf of the other. Go to pay to the electricity bill or his insurance premium or even some other payments, the bank accepts the responsibility of paying the electricity bill, insurance premium and all other expenditures on behalf of the public, and for this again bank charges some amount, and this is called as the agency function. Again after this, even the bank offers some other few functions like utility services you can call. Bank provides different sizes of lockers to the public, and this facility can be availed by the public, and they can keep their important property documents, or they can keep their precious things and valuables as well as the gold also. So for this purpose bank charges a rent for the locker based on its size for every year, and here also the bank earns money through these rental charges. The third function of a commercial bank is credit creation. The banks create credit in two forms. The first one is by advancing loans, and the second one is by purchasing securities. The banks advance loans, and these money lent by them to the general public is the way how the bank creates credit, because out of lending the loans bank earns interest, and this earnings is another form of creating the credit, because again the banks collect deposits also from the public, and out of these money collected from the public in the form of deposits are in return lent as loans. The second way is it purchases the securities, the government bonds, because whenever there is an overflow of money in the public, with the hands of the public, the government issues bonds, and all these general public as well as the commercial bank buy these bonds. All these extra money is converted into securities which can be converted into cash after future date. So therefore, these purchasing of securities will also help the banks to create credit, and the extra money earned in the form of interest out of these bonds are also helping the commercial banks to lend it to the public again. So this is the way how the bank create the credit. Credit creation involves that the public should have enough money either in the form of savings or in the form of loans to involve this money in the economy for the major activities of economy like production, consumption, distribution and exchange. So all these are the ways how the money is into the intersectoral flow of economy, and in return they are going to benefit all the four important sectors of the economy. So after this, let us learn about the central bank of our country, that is known as Bank of Banks. So every bank, including the commercial banks, scheduled banks, cooperative banks, also different types of banks, will go and stand in front of the central bank, that is the Reserve Bank of India.